Larissa admits to a dangerous addiction. Plus, Laura sets the record straight exclusively to Afterbuzz TV. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to Afterbuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, 90 Day Fiancé fans. Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé News Weekly, where we cover all the week's hottest headlines about our favorite reality TV cast. Thank you so much for tuning in today and joining in on our live chat. Make sure you let us know what you think about these hot stories. My name is Christy Olson, and joining me today is the host of the 90 Day Fiancé after shows. That's right, all of them here on Afterbuzz TV. Hello, Linda Antwi.
Hi, I'm so excited about this week. There is so much drama. I can never get enough of it. I was on the red carpet yesterday, and I was actually asking some of the actors if they had a 90-day fiancé guilty pleasure.
Ooh,
So
did you get a lot of
I got a lot of yeses.
Are you going to spill them?
No, you have to watch the interviews.
You did. You got some juicy celeb interviews last night. We were talking about that a little earlier. But this reality TV cast has also had a pretty eventful week.
They really have.
Shall we say. A lot of the news this week comes from them spilling their guts. Some exclusive interviews, and also I talked exclusively to Laura about some comments that popped up online today. Let's start there, because I think everyone's kind of talking about Laura and Aladdin ever since he wiped every picture of her from his Instagram.
And it's still wiped.
And still gone. She has also been reportedly spotted here in Florida. Sorry, I don't live in Florida. Hello, everyone in Florida. I used to live there. Hi. So, moving on from that, she's apparently back home here in the United States. However, they can't confirm any of this because they're watching their story unfold right now on The Other Way. Well, I noticed a little screenshot being circulated this morning on some gossip blogs and amongst the fans that kind of showed Laura's account saying that Aladdin had cheated on her and that he disrespected her, and this was kind of looked like it was doctored to look like a response to a fan who was wondering if they were still together.
You think it was doctored?
It absolutely was doctored, Linda. Thank you for asking. I reached out to Laura to get the scoop, to get the real story for all of you, and she said that this screen grab is an absolute fake. She did not post that comment. She did not say that Aladdin had cheated or disrespected her in any way. She said she actually laughed when she saw this pop up because, I mean, it really isn't that great of a doctoring the way it is. But on first look, I mean, I have to admit this one got even me, which is why I reached out to her. But she's still maintaining that she can't say anything. Really, but that this post is absolutely fake.
So in saying that, is she saying that they're still together?
She did not say either way whether they are still together because she can't, obviously, and they've been very careful about that online. That was another red flag about this supposed comment, is because she has been so quiet about the current status of their relationship online. So
I see this now, and it does look a lot doctored. The one I saw did not look as doctored, so they must have cleaned that up.
Well, yeah, and we did a little editing on that as well, just to not out anybody there. But I think we all thought we were finally getting the juicy scoop on these two, that he had cheated.
I think he probably has.
Have you seen all the attention that he gets on his profile?
Yeah, he's hot. He knows it. He's a trainer, so you know the women are trolling his page. Hardcore.
I mean, people of all genders, just shameless AF on this married guy's Insta page.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, well, that was your exclusive, people.
Speaking of crazy, Larissa, happy birthday. It's Larissa's birthday today. She is celebrating in a big way by shopping with her boo, and she's about to have a party. So she's going to have a party at Crazy Horse 3 on Saturday and has invited everyone down to come party and celebrate her birthday. And she's also,
we're invited?
We're invited.
So sweet.
Let's go to Vegas.
I'm down.
Let's do it. Crazy Horse 3, here we come. And she's also given an interview saying, quote, that she is admittedly addicted to cosmetic procedures.
Yes.
So she spoke with an outlet and confirmed that she's got her lips done, injections to define her jawline, a non-surgical nose job, filters in her butt to plump it up.
Yeah, we saw those pictures.
And her ultimate fantasy or goal in her dream is to have big breast implants.
Her words, not yours.
Her words, yes. So she's all in. She's all into bettering herself and the quickest way possible, I guess.
Wow. Well, bettering herself in her
opinion.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I think, a plastic surgery addiction, and she did say she's addicted to cosmetic procedures. She has not had any actual surgeries, but that's a very real thing. And it can be a very damaging thing. And it's something that we've seen on other reality TV shows, of course. And so I hope that she was saying that in kind of a lighthearted way, but she certainly has had what I would call a complete overhaul.
She really has. But I think that, I can't say anything bad about it. I think that if it makes her feel beautiful and she loves who she is, then good on her.
Absolutely. She seems happier than ever. And I mean, she's getting all these procedures probably for free. I was trying to think of a fancier word to say than for free.
Yeah.
What's the fancy word of saying it?
She's being sponsored.
Yes. Thank you, Linda. She's being sponsored with all of these procedures.
Yeah.
So she's not paying a dime. She looks great. And while this may be a bit of a dangerous message to send to people, I think she's an adult and, if you're watching 90 Day Fiancé with your kids, you probably have a lot more explaining to do than just about plastic surgery.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't think she's ever said that she's a role model. I think it's important to be a responsible individual. But again, she has to be happy with who she is. And if this makes her happy, then this makes her happy.
Ooh, Nakia points out, she said in the live chat, hello, everybody who's hanging out there. She said, I thought she loved her children and wanted to be with them. She's spending money on these procedures instead of getting her children to the U.S. That's a pretty good point.
It's a good point, but she doesn't have hundreds and thousands of dollars to spend on the procedures. So I think that she is getting sponsored. She definitely gives the places that she goes shouts out. And I think that that's kind of her ad for them. And she actually, do you remember a few weeks ago, she auctioned off a cosmetic procedure?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I think that she's,
she's spreading the wealth
she's
all
spreading
around.
the wealth, yeah.
All right. Oh, yes. And Kimberly in the chat, hey, Kim, said that Larissa is definitely not a role model. Well, speaking, right?
That's okay, though. That's okay, though. She's living her best life. We also want to say that today, if you reach out on her Instagram and follow her stories, she's teaching Eric Spanish. And the first thing she's teaching him is how to say happy birthday, beautiful Larissa.
Aww. Yeah. Wait, can I take a crack at it? Cumpleaños feliz, bella Larissa?
Linda. So Linda would be beautiful.
Ah,
you were close.
All right. Close enough. Well, one kid who maybe is probably watching 90 Day Fiancé would be Nicole's daughter, May, who started school this week in Florida where Nicole lives. Yay! Remember, her mom and the rest of the fam was pretty concerned about Nicole's focus.
I was concerned. Get your kid in school.
And Linda was concerned.
Facts. I said it on air for weeks. Get your kid in school.
So
glad it happened.
Yeah, she's got her little lunchbox. She was modeling off some different uniforms, May was. And Nicole has been proudly posting this all over. She also kind of nervously talked about, dropping May off that first day and, what do you do while your kid's at school, and kind of trying to get some support from the other moms and some advice.
What do you do when your kid's in school? You work, probably. Whether you work at home or you work outside of the home. She
is back working as a barista at Starbucks. And reportedly, a source close to the family told In Touch that they have a new apartment, she and May do. They finally have their own home again after she got rid of it years ago before she went to see Azin. And so it sounds like Nicole and May are really settling here in the U.S.
Yeah, I think she is. I think that she's making some wise decisions finally and realizing that, trying to get to Morocco and everywhere else you're trying to get to for this dude might not be your focus. Your kid is starting school, and instead of bouncing around from house to house to house to house, she's going to need some stability. So I think it's a great thing.
I do too. And I think we can see a change in Nicole and her attitude and her behavior and her focus.
Yeah.
And she does seem like, mom duty is number one on her list of priorities. So,
yep, love it.
Good for you. Kimberly said that Nicole herself should go to work or school and further her own education.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Chris pointed out that Larissa speaks Portuguese and not Spanish. You're right, Chris. Thank you.
You're right. Chris. Thank you.
They're very similar, right? They're like sister languages.
Very similar. And hi to Gabrielle, all the way from Brazil.
Wow, that's so awesome. Hey, we can get international too. It's not just the 90-day crew.
Speaking of the 90-day crew, Ashley, she posted some pictures of her kids. Now, mind you, you don't see them up front, but you do see them hanging out on the boardwalk, spending some time with their mom. And I thought it was a very special, cute photo.
Yeah, we have never seen their faces.
Yep.
She never speaks about them, about their ages or their names or any of that. So this popping up over the weekend was kind of a big deal. So it's Ashley holding her two kids' hands from the back. It's very cute.
Yep.
And I think this must be a new thing with her because even the day after this, she had video of her daughter looking in the fridge on Insta
and the
stories.
cake thing,
Yeah, and again, not showing their faces. But what do you think is behind this sudden urge to remind us all that she's a mom?
I think that she's probably just refocusing, right? Now that the show is done for her, she's refocusing her energies on, her kids are a big part of her life.
Well, and they must be important to her because she actually missed out on her rumored boyfriend's birthday party for this little trip with her kids to Ocean City. So Chris Estrada from The Bachelorette, he was on one episode, but you can now see him on Bachelor in Paradise, which is airing now, I believe. I don't have time for that franchise too.
It is airing.
Yes, it is.
With its own drama.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, Ashley hinted on her stories that she and Chris Estrada are a thing of some kind. We haven't heard much about it since until over the weekend. He had a birthday party in Miami. Friends, family, everybody gathered there. You would certainly expect to see his rumored girlfriend. She was not there, but Ashley did post on stories explaining that she was sorry for missing the party and that she was spending time with her kids and she was very tired. But either way, Ashley wanted us to know that she got the invite to the party. She just couldn't make it. And it seems like this could have been maybe sent in a text. So, again, Ashley wants us to know about this, I'm guessing, fledgling relationship.
I mean, put it out there. She might have that dating show. I'm still sticking to it. I still think that she probably will end up with a dating show. She did announce that she will be back on TV in her Insta story. She didn't say in what capacity, and we're still all waiting to find out. And she also announced this week that she's launching a new line. We don't know if it's a clothing line, if it's a cosmetic line, what type of line, but she has a few things down the pipeline, she's saying.
She's simply saying, I'm launching a line.
That's what it said.
And this is coming from someone who all last week was promising at a big announcement. And she's been talking about this spinoff allegedly for a couple weeks. And I will wait to see this line.
It's possible.
To confirm its reality. But...
You don't believe it?
I mean, I think there are a lot of reality stars who can slap their names on stuff pretty quickly.
I know, but Lita has a shoe line, so what would prevent her from starting even a clothing line?
Well, no, nothing. I mean, I'm sure she could do that if she had the time and energy and wanted to work at something and build something, but she's not a clothing designer. She's not a fashion designer. She's a reality star, and that's what she's putting most of her energy into. So I'm guessing that's where she's going to get her output.
Okay. That's very, very specific. We'll wait and see.
We will wait and see.
Yeah.
And also just stop with the teasing. Like, we get it. You're trying to get us all talking about you. Like, we get it. But give us something.
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah. If you're going to tease it and announce it, then announce it. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. ZJ Modeste. Where is this? Sasquatch County? Hello.
Ooh, Sasquatch
wait.
County.
Where? Yeah, what does that say? Stales, BC? As in BC, British Columbia? Because, I'm from British Columbia.
Oh, so do you know, are you familiar with Sasquatch County?
No, I'm not.
Hey, for all we know, ZJ is making that up, but either way, we appreciate you hanging out with us. And I bet you, ZJ, are watching The Family Chantel, because I think everybody who's into the 90-Day franchise is doing so, and the ratings have proven that a lot of people's eyes are on the show.
It's so good.
It is good, but I have noticed that Chantel seems like a bit of a reluctant reality star. She's not playing the game online like Ashley is at all. Exact opposite. She is giving us nothing. We get no personal stuff from her. We get no teases. We get no news. There's absolutely nothing. She stays silent. Now, we know that she is working hard in nursing school right now. She doesn't graduate till December. But I've been wondering, if she's not really into being a reality star, what was the motivation for doing this show? Well, her and Pedro gave an interview earlier this week to like a local TV blogger in Atlanta where they live, and admitted that they had money on the mind. Like, this was all about the Benjamins for them, and that it was really just an attractive way to get paid doing this spinoff. Chantel did add that doing those interviews is very cathartic, and that having the show kind of forces the family to talk out their issues. But it was all about the ching-ching.
Listen, I think they're playing it amazingly well, because there has to be something to be said about a little bit of mystery.
Yeah.
I can't find it online. I'm tuning in to your drama, and you're like dribbling it out just bit by bit just to reel us in. I think it's great. I think it's not oversaturated. I think they're playing it a smart way. And I've often said that this new family, Chantel, is the new Kardashian family.
You think
and if
so?
you remember how they were back then, they dictated what went out, and it was very like specific at specific times.
Oh, yeah, I worked at E at the time.
So they didn't throw it all out there. And I think
Yeah.
if they're following that same model, they're definitely going to be the next Kardashian family.
So you think that's a purposeful choice to kind of stay mysterious?
Absolutely. You're mysterious. People want to know more about you. They want to know more about you. You stay relevant. You stay relevant, then you build your popularity. You build your popularity, you build your bank account.
All right. Well, it makes my job as the host of 90 Day Fiancé News Daily very hard.
Ditto.
But more power to you, Chantel and Pedro.
Ditto.
We do love to watch.
Oh, I love them. I
Money,
love them.
money, money, money.
Right.
Everybody in the chat is singing now. Oh, and that Karen is cray-cray. Karen is cray-cray, and I don't think she would mind any of us saying that. In fact, I think she would say, "You're darn right, I'm cray-cray."
Yeah, what did she say in this episode this week that was so funny? She was like some 1990s reference. Oh, whoop, there it is.
Oh, yes.
I cracked up so much. She's fantastic. She's good TV. In other sad news, Corey, we are now finding out that his dad passed away this January. And so, our condolences to Corey, because we met him in the first episodes of 90 Day the Other Way, Gary. We see them up there on our screen. So Corey started a GoFundMe to help with the funeral costs, and he got a little bit of backlash. And the backlash was, hey, listen, you spent $40,000 on Evelyn, you moved out to Ecuador, and even in the first episodes, we see you giving her $800 to spend on clothes for her family, then $500 pocket money to travel. So, like, why are you asking us for money for their funeral? So that was like the one side of it. The other side of it is he's already said that he spent all his money, so therefore that's why he needed to start this GoFundMe account. And I just thought we should know a little bit about his background. So he grew up a Mormon. He lived on a compound with
Gary
the family.
or Corey?
Corey lived on a compound with his family. And Corey and his family are Mormon. He grew up Mormon. And I just think that he was really close to his dad, so our hearts go out with him. One of the interesting things that we're hearing is that Evelyn tried to go to the funeral, but she was turned away, shipped back to Ecuador, and banned from the U.S. So she's currently banned from the U.S. We don't know why. I'm curious to find out why she would be banned, because usually when you're banned from the United States, it's because you have a criminal record or you overstayed your visa.
I think you just hit the nail on the head.
So she might have overstayed because she had a 6-month visa, student visa. So maybe she stayed longer and they know it. And so now she can't come back.
Was it a tourist visa that she was here on? You said student visa?
I thought it was a student visa.
Okay, but so she was here for 6 months. That's what we saw at the beginning of the show. I was wondering also if she maybe overstayed that. Or maybe if once you do that, you just can't come back for a certain amount of time, regardless of what the situation is, especially if she and Corey aren't married, which I know you have some thoughts on. But if they aren't married, then she maybe can't... Like, it's not like it's the spouse coming over to try to get in for the funeral. So I'm not surprised to hear that.
But even if she, so we could both be right, even if she overstayed a tourist visa or a student visa and then got married, it takes time. It can be 6 months up to 2 years to get your green card. So
Right.
you're still illegally here. So either way, she would have broken the law and therefore not be able to come back.
I kind of think that means that she had the attitude of like, well, I'm never coming back here.
Which is what she said. And she's like, no, I don't want to ever come back.
Right. Well, I guess this was quote unquote a source close to production told this to In Touch Weekly. I do want to touch a little bit on the GoFundMe. So I searched very hard for a screenshot of that or some evidence that it ever existed, and I was not able to find it. Did you see it at some point? Because you have your finger so on the pulse.
No, I haven't seen it either, so I don't know.
I'm just in like, are we getting scammed mode from what happened with Laura this morning? And I'm just wondering, because I think people know that the 90 Day Stars starting these GoFundMes can be very controversial. I wouldn't be surprised if someone said that, because really that was in January. That would have been before anyone knew Corey.
Yep.
Why would any fan of the show who hadn't seen him yet or didn't know him to be on the show give to a GoFundMe page?
Right.
And it really just is so classlessly brazen when he knew he was on camera talking about giving money to Evelyn. So I do have to say I'm curious as to whether there really was a GoFundMe, because that is very widely reported.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll address it.
Maybe he will. The chat roll is chatting. They say they hope Evelyn stays in Ecuador and that Corey stays here in the U.S.
Nakia.
And his dad was so sweet and nice. He really was. And that was a great scene that we were introduced to Gary in, with the family coming over for dinner and prayers. And you just really got the idea that that's a close-knit family.
That's a close-knit family. Absolutely were.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, this couple is one of my favorite couples. Deavan and Jihoon. They had baby news. So they did Us Weekly Spread with their new baby boy, and it's Taeyang.
Taeyang. Yeah.
Taeyang, and he's 4 months old now. She talked about how because he was born 2 weeks early, he had an underdeveloped lung, and so she wasn't able to spend every single minute holding him for the first 5 days. So she posted this photo of her just being able to hold a baby for the first time, and it just being very special. And I think it is. I think it really is.
It is. You know what stood out to me in that they did this huge Us Weekly spread.
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Yeah, and clearly done when Jihoon was here visiting after the baby was born. But very interestingly, in that article, it said that Jihoon had moved to the U.S. to be with the family, which would, one, be a huge spoiler. Normally, they're more careful about that stuff. Recently, Tiffany and Ronald were also in a photo spread like this, and the writer was very careful not to reveal anything. So it being said that he moved to the U.S. in this piece is like, is their storyline that Deavan was moving to South Korea a fake? Did their plans just change? Did this writer get it wrong? Did they accidentally reveal something? What is happening here?
Right. I mean, to me, it looks like he's still here. Whether they've changed their plans or not, I don't know. But
they've been careful on social media not to reveal that he is here or where he is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm sure we're going to find out, but I think that their baby's adorable, and I think just seeing them together is adorable. And if you guys watched the latest episode, Drusilla was great around the baby. Like, she was not a nightmare. I was like, oh, this kid has calmed all the way down.
And also Jihoon's reaction to Drusilla. I was a little worried at first in the first second. He seemed to kind of dismiss her, and then took a moment and turned to her and really was like, this is your brother. And you could see that there was love amongst everybody there.
I love these two. I really, really love them too, a lot.
I think a good judge of someone's character is how they treat the kids. I mean, we've seen a lot of different kinds of behavior. Remember Luis, all the way, to someone who's maybe more doting. The problems that Lita and Eric had in blending their families. So that's a really important thing. And I saw Jihoon really connecting with Drusilla in that moment.
Yeah, I love them. Nakia, is this a true story? Or are you making this up? Nakia is saying they named their baby after a singer in the K-pop group Big Bang. LOL, I died.
Or perhaps maybe it is just a common or popular name. Or maybe they are big fans.
Wait, what? You think Drusilla was medicated in the scene?
Oh, so maybe mom had a little experience with shooting with Drusilla and then no?
No, let's not go down that route.
Oh.
No.
Okay. I'm going to go back and watch it again, though, Nakia. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. Well,
that's-
the chat roll really loves Jihoon and Deavan too. I have to say, I find them a teensy bit boring.
Really?
Yeah,
I love them.
and also just like I can't get into a baby storyline. I think this was the first time I've ever seen a baby being birthed by a C-section on TV. Usually they make a big deal out of like a natural birth on TV, but I've never seen that before, and probably could have gone without seeing it. Just just saying.
I cried.
Did
thought,
you?
Yeah, I thought it was really sweet that Jihoon had his family watching, and they were all like, "I'm a grandma, I'm a grandpa, and I'm a dad," and that even though he couldn't be there physically, he was absolutely having that experience of becoming a dad for the first time. And I just thought it was really special. And then when the baby finally came out, like, it's almost here, and the baby, I just thought it was special. I don't have kids yet, but that moment was a special moment that can't be denied.
Okay. I was going to come in with a big butt, but all right. We'll
Do
just
it.
tie that up beautifully. I forgot what the butt was already.
Oh, I thought. That was cute.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers the hot headlines for the week.
It really does.
Yeah. So let's play a little game, a little round of Do We Ship It?
Do we ship it?
All right, we're going to give you one of the couples from 90 Day Fiancé, and we will decide, and you guys can all chime in the chat. Do we ship it, as in ship these two out, or ship it like, relationship-y ship it? We have to be very careful with our words around here. So let's talk about Avery and Omar. I feel like they are on everybody's lips, these two names. Everybody is talking about these two. Avery converted to Islam for him, and we saw her and her mom possibly leaving for their flight this week. So we have not yet to meet Omar in person, and we have no idea how it goes when she goes over there. We don't know if she stays in Syria, as she admitted she is planning. But this girl's been all over Insta Live giving interviews. She's very careful not to reveal things, but it does appear that she is not in the U.S. in these videos.
Okay.
Do you agree? She's with a lot of other people who are in the traditional garb. And
I can't tell.
she's pretty good about being mysterious. So we don't have a ton to go on here, Linda. Avery and Omar, do we ship it?
I ship it out.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think these two are going to last. I think that she's impulsive. I think that she wants to be loved. I think there's more to her story, why she has had such drastic changes and decisions in her life. And this being the biggest one, wanting to absolutely get married to someone that you've never met. You change your religion, you're 19. And I remember being 19 and think I knew it all, and I was grown and was making the best decisions. And, 10 years later, you're a completely different person. And so I don't think she has found herself yet. So I want to know what the root of the issue is, because I do think that there's an issue. And so I don't think they're going to last.
I do agree with you 100%. And also, but what concerns me about that is that someone like that will stick to their guns. They do not want to be told, we told you so. They do not want to have to make the phone call. Oh, Mom, I'm coming home. I was wrong. This didn't work out. I think she will try to stick this out as long, absolutely long as she can, especially with this show involved. Now, all of the world is watching her having to stick to these decisions that she made. And I'm afraid that she may do that longer than she's comfortable with. She's just looking for the next thing to kind of, what's that song? There's got to be more to life. And chasing down every temporary high. And I feel like that's what she's doing.
But I also think there's more. I think she's running away from something. I think that there's something either traumatic or tragic that happened to her.
She was almost an Olympic level gymnast. She was a very successful gymnast. And at one point in her gymnastics career, broke both of her legs. Was in a wheelchair for quite a while. Obviously, that's a harrowing journey to come back from physically. I believe that's what ended her gymnastics career. So, if she had kind of fame and glory and big things in mind and planned for herself, she may have just been looking for something else that's extreme and drastic and
she could excel at.
elicits feelings from her and from everyone around her. She concerns me. I'm concerned.
Well, I'm glad that her mom is going with her to Lebanon, and her mom looks like she doesn't play. Like, you don't have your phone, we're not getting on this plane. And I think that as they move forward and she meets Omar, the mom, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because mom still doesn't know at this point that Avery's plan is to stay
She's
in
not
Syria after they meet in Lebanon. So
do you see her mom leaving her in Lebanon? Do you see that happening?
Oh, I mean, I know my mother wouldn't.
Listen, I don't think any mother is going to be like, yeah, okay, you just met him and you guys are getting married 2 days later and you're going to stay. We'll see.
Yeah, the chat roll is suspecting that she converted even after she met Omar. And a lot of you look like you're shipping this one out.
Kimberly, I'm not sure what it is. I just think it's something traumatic for sure. And yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything. But I think it's going to reveal itself at some point.
Yeah. Well, we will certainly be watching if and when it does.
Yes, for sure.
And when can everybody here watch you on AfterBuzz breaking down all the 90-day shows, Linda?
I am here all day today doing 90 Day Fiancé the other way, am I still doing before the 90 days? I am.
Yes.
And I'm doing the Family Chantel. So stay tuned, stick to AfterBuzz TV Network. If you want to reach out to me, you can follow me all across social media at Linda is So Girly.
Yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us live in the chat. We do this every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure that you give us your thoughts and maybe hit that thumbs up button because we love you so much. And don't forget to watch 90 Day Fiancé News daily, every single day right here on AfterBuzz Reality TV. I'll see you there tomorrow, but we'll be back with this next week. And have a great one in the meantime.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.